Hello, welcome in this new project. I'm Nolwenn Petitbois and this is a video for ColourArte. This time I'm working on a canvas board and I want to create a mixed media painting. The first layer is almost always gesso for me. It creates a better ground for the paint and it creates texture as well. As you can see, I'm using my catalyst tool and I just love that tool. It's my go-to and it's very easy to use, but you can use a palette knife. To add even more texture, I decided to use a stencil, and as you can see it's little dots, but they're not spaced all the same way, which for me is more interesting. So I'm adding more texture. Depending on how you place your tool or your palette knife, it won't apply the gesso the same way. And this time I'm using my tool to create these veins like texture, and I use it all the time. It's my favorite texture. I chose 5 colors, but please use as many as you want, and I wanted something very fun, so I went for very bright colors. So opening them all, so it will be easier for me, I won't have to think about it. Oh, look at that, isn't that gorgeous? I just love the silk acrylic glaze, just yummy. Using a flat brush, I will create kind of a patchwork. So I start with my lightest color, which is the lemon drop yellow, and as you can see I'm not very thoughtful at that time, just applying color, something that makes sense to me, but really not thinking too much. And I finish with the dark blue, I don't know how you say that in English, azurite. Oh, I just love. You need to create contrast. If you use all of the same values, it will be kind of boring and won't work. So you need at least one dark color to bring everything together. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, I dried it and now I'm using a Donadoni stencil, a lotus flower. And in a spray bottle, in a mister, I just added 50-50 of water and high flow black acrylic. And I protected around the stencil because I didn't want the edge to show. And voila! Isn't that, oh, just awesome. I dried it very well before this step. And this is modeling paste. So it's another texture medium, but this one is light, and as you can see it's not opaque, so I'm using it to calm the background that is very busy, but I still want to see through it because the paint was already very dry underneath. It's not moving. However, because I apply so much of the paste, some of it will change and look more like stained glass. Like you can see the blue at the top is changing. And vary your brush strokes because it will add more interest. And I'm using several layers of the paste, drying in between each of them. And see how it's coming together. And it's very easy, and I just like how fast it is to create a beautiful painting with just a few steps. And look at that. Oh yes, texture. I need to dry it again. And now for the lotus flower. These are Twinkling H20 paint. They are gorgeous shimmery paint that come in a cake form. Cake, yeah, I think you can say that. You need to reactivate them with water, so you just spritz a little bit of water inside, let it sit. Usually I wait about 10 minutes, and it's amazing. While it's being activated, I decided that I really wanted them to show on my petals. So using the same gesso done at the beginning, I'm just coloring the flower in white. It will just be a better base because I want to be sure that the Twinkling H20s will show their true colors and not too much of what's underneath. And I'm using a round brush for that. Oh yes, it doesn't have to be perfect, it's okay. And yes, as usual, titanium white would work instead of gesso perfectly, especially a heavy body one. So now that my paint is ready, it's time to have fun. I'm using a pale gold as my base, and as you can see, I made the big mistake. I didn't dry the gesso before painting, which result in the paint mixing with it and then becoming more milky, I could say. But you know, that's okay. The beauty of the Twinkling H20s is that you can layer them. You dry, you add another layer and things like that. So, and see how they blend beautifully together? That's just magical to me. And I'm often, you can see me drying my brush on some paper towel that is not shown on camera. And I'm mixing the color together, that's fine. And I just already like how it is. Adding some red for shading and using a very dry brush though, so it blends beautifully. And you can see that because I was not too heavy on the gesso, you can still see some of the background, which makes it even more beautiful to me. So just layering, and as I said, you can be as precise or as abstract as you want in your painting. That's just up to you, what makes you happy the most. And adding some red and some more, and so it mixes directly on the painting. I wish you could see the beautiful shimmer that comes from them. And voila! I decided that I needed some black, but I'm not used to that kind of mister, and it will see a big blood of black. And do not freak out if that happens. You can always fix it. So I dried it very well and then came back on the flower because the towels kind of pulled the paint from the painting. So I'm just redoing it a little and then coming back on the background with the molding paste over the beautiful black thing that happens. That's okay, see? It's better already with just one layer. So adding it, so we can still see it, but it's not as it was before. See? You can always fix everything. That's the beauty of mixed media. And now I'm just adding splatters to bring everything together. And for me, it's done. I hope you enjoy and see you next time. Bye.